Hey everybody, this is GGB co-host Pupper getting back to the action here in the second quarter. If you guys were watching last episode, it's 2nd and 8 for this Big 12 Cardinals team. And so far, it's been a whale of an offensive game. Again, a holding penalty ended up ruining the Big 10 Titans drive. And again, the Big 12 Cardinals have the ball off a punt, and they could go up 21-0 early against the team many people were considering to be the favorite to win it all this year. Now, again, the number one seed has never won it. So, again, it could be the number one seed curse. They've never won the Super Bowl, but shotgun here from Mahomes. They bring a blitz. He fires it quickly underneath to Tyler Lockett, making his first catch of the day. And Mahomes is 15 of 15 so far, 153 yards through the air. First catch of the ball game for Tyler Lockett, as I said before. And it brings up an early 3rd and 3. If you're the Big 10 Titans, you really could use a stop here. You really could. So let's see what they do here. Shotgun here from Mahomes. They bring a blitz up the middle. He fires it. That's going to be incomplete to Sterling Shepard, and they are actually going to force the punt. First incomplete pass for Patrick Mahomes. And yeah, good job for the Big 10 Titans defense, finally getting a stop on this offense. And here comes, Michael Dixon, I believe. Actually, Tress Way out here to punt this ball away. He has a very big leg, so he's going to get him to about the 28-yard line, 29-yard line they call it. He funded from his own 27 to the other guy's 29. It's pretty good. Again, you can see Stephon Diggs is set to return punts. So, I mean, obviously I don't care about who starts and who doesn't. It's just a lot of fun to see the best players try and return some punts. That's why I wanted Tyreek Hill to get one, at least a touchdown, but he did not. So, 14-0 here for this Big 10 Titans offense in a hole early. But you could cut that down to 7 points if you just score here. They bring Andy Yanovich onto the field, one tight end formation with George Kittle. They bring Stephon Diggs in motion to get behind him. They go run up the middle. I don't know if anyone else is. I've been extremely surprised with the way the Big 12 has come out and really punched the Big 10 in the mouth. Kind of expected it in the first game against the Mountain West, so I don't know why I didn't expect it in this one, but I think they kind of put away my thoughts about someone punching the Big 10 in the face, but Big 12 has kind of done that today. Tom Brady's under center here. They're going to snap it, pitch it to Saquon Barkley. He's going to be tackled for about no gain by, is that Jerry Hughes? I think it was maybe Jerry Hughes. I'm going to go with Jerry Hughes. Yep. Jerry Hughes he's been a productive player today. Normally, if you're the Big 12, you don't get a lot of pressure from the defensive line. Jerry Hughes has not been doing horrible here. Shotgun here, 2 running backs set for Tom Brady. He's going to go pass. It's a screen. He's going to get it out to Saquon Barkley, but he's going to get tackled by Jerry Hughes once again for a huge loss, forcing a 4th down. And big play by Jerry Hughes. There really wasn't a lot of people afterwards. I think they probably would have gotten it before the first down, but they ended up making a big stop on defense. Only person really that could have made the play was Nick Kwiatkowski. There was another guy over there too, and Nick Kwiatkowski was probably in best position to make that play. But I think Saquon Barkley could probably outmaneuver Nick Kwiatkowski if he wanted to. So, yeah, this is cute. They end up forcing another punt by Sam Cock. Let's see if he can He's going to punt this one away. Kyle Lockett's going to have blockers in front of him. And he's going to return a ball. He's going to break. Oh, he makes a juke move. He gets about the 41-yard line. And that's where this Big 12 offense is going to set up again. And another huge stop by this Big 12 defense. That gave up 0 points so far. This is something that I didn't think was going to happen. I honestly didn't think that was... I didn't think that the Big 12... I thought the Big 12 defense did a very good job against the SEC, all consideration considering how great a team they had. But I thought the Big 10 had a better team offensively. And so far, it has not looked like it. But Mahomes has been everything and more for this team. Shotgun here from Mahomes, mixing beside him. They go pass. He's going to have time. He scrambles out. He fires it. He guts it to Sterling Shepard. Picks up the first down and a little bit more, about 8 yards more than that. And again, the Big 12 is using all of their Threats. I love it when I think it's what the Big 12 does better than literally every other team I can think of is they utilize all their threats very effectively. They utilize Tyler Lockett, they utilize Sterling Shepard, Danny Amendola, Hollywood Brown. They use them all very effectively, so I'm very impressed with this team so far. Shotgun with Andrew Beck in the backfield, likely a run with Joe Mixon. They do go run with Mixon, he's going to run it. For only about a 3 or 4 yard gain. They call it a 4-yard gain. Brings up a 2nd and 6. First tackle for J.J. Watt in this game. And what's been interesting is this defensive line, despite having so many big names on it, like Joey Bosa and J.J. Watt, Nick Bosa, Casey Hayward. There's so many big names on this line, yet they're not getting as much pressure as you would expect it. Shotgun here from Mahomes. They go run with Mixon. Actually, Mahomes has a lot of running room. He's going to get it to the 23-yard line. I 100% thought that was going to be a run. It ended up being a read option. Obviously, a play call for not Patrick Mahomes, but probably Kyler Murray, considering it's the Arizona Cardinals, so they never really call plays for Kyler Murray, so that would make sense. Which still works rather effectively because Mahomes is not a slow quarterback by any means. It's not like the Mac runs read options with Big Ben Roethlisberger. And yet again, they have another 1st and 10 right outside the red zone. Shotgun from Mahomes here with Mixon lined up behind him. They bring Amendola in motion. They go fake, jet sweep. He fires it to Mark Andrews again and picks up another 1st down with Mark Andrews. And Mark Andrews has been, I've been talking about them using all their targets rather effectively, and they really have. I think Sterling Shepard hasn't been used extremely effectively, but I kind of expected the Big Ten to kind of key in on him. So that makes sense why he hasn't been able to get as many targets as you would normally expect. But Sterling Shepard, can't even do it. Hollywood Brown has done a great job, but Mark Andrews has stepped up huge for his team. Shotgun for Mahomes here. He goes run with Mixon. He's going to get really nowhere on that. Only ends up picking about 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 8 coming up. But yeah, I mean, even a field goal here by the Big 12 Cardinals. Your defense has been so good. Going up, you could be up 17-0 at halftime, and we could end up seeing a huge lead for these Big 12 Cardinals. That'd be pretty insane. Andrew Beck on the field. They actually decided to go pass, blocking Mixon and Beck. So they're going to go. Mahomes scrambles into the end zone. Touchdown. Mahomes pulling it out once again. An amazing play by him. And this stadium is really quiet right now. These fans are not happy. They're kind of disappointed. This is the year. This was supposed to be the year for the Big Ten. They had their best team I've ever seen them had. They had the 2nd highest rated quarterback in the game. They had an amazing offensive line. Their defense was insanely good. And yet, the Big 12 has come out here and, again, punched them in the mouth. It's going to be all about how they recover. Going down 21-0 is never ideal. But if you get a touchdown here, if you're the Big Ten, you're only down by 14 points. Now, eventually you got to figure out a way to stop this Big 12 team, because I was saying the same thing about the SEC at halftime, except for I was a little bit higher on the SEC possibly having the comeback, considering their offense was so high-powered, and it was actually being rather effective. It wasn't like they weren't scoring points. It was just the Big 12 was scoring more points in them. Mostert's going to be able to return this one. Tucker's to kick us off. That's not going to be returnable. Raheem Mostert. And I think that's going to be an underrated part of the Big 12's team, is that man, Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker is a guy that's going to not allow many returns. He's also going to be a guy that can nail long field goals for you, and it's something that not many other teams have, is a player of that capability at kicker. Big Ten don't have a bad one, though, and Robbie Gould by any means. ACC doesn't either, and Harrison Butker. Under center here by Tom Brady. They bring Robinson in motion. They hand off to Robinson. He's going to get quickly tackled. Bad read by Allen Robinson. It really goes nowhere, but it was a nice play by that Big 12 Cardinal defender, Emmanuel Ogbah. And Emmanuel Ogbah is a name I haven't said, I don't think, at all in these playoffs. And it's really a surprise to me because Emmanuel Ogbah was a really good pass rusher last year for the Dolphins. Surprised I haven't heard more about him. Shotgun here from Brady. He has plenty of time to read the field. Eventually he's pressured and he's going to throw that ball out of bounds. And again, that defense is playing lockdown cover. I mean, it has to be, right? Tom Brady is a player that really, he's made a career out of being able to read the field extremely well. And it's not like has a limited amount of time back there. He has forever. Empty set here for Tom Brady. The Big 12 has a chance to stop him again. So he fires it. That's going to be picked off. That's going to be returned by the Big 12. He's keel going. He gets it all the way to the 15-yard line. A huge pick by once again, Jason Verrett making a huge play for this Big 12 Cardinals defense. And they could go up 28-0 early. He's trying to get it in there to Stephon Diggs. And unfortunately for them, Jason Verrett is blanketing these players. And it's really the reason why I think this Big 12 defense plays so well is if you look at that secondary and very much the corners. You look at the two best players on that defense, they're both corners, and it's Xavien Howards and Chris Harris Jr., and they're both corners that you can trust to lock down your players. So they play a lot off of that, kind of like the Dolphins, and they do a lot of man-on-man, and it works extremely well for this team. Looks like a five-man rush, although I could see them dropping out T.J. Watt. They actually bring him. They screen to Mixon, and he's going to get tackled for about no gain on that play. Nice play there by the Big Ten defense. If he had cut it more inside, he probably could have gotten more yardage, but I don't know how much more. Denzel Ward with that tackle. But again, even if you get a field goal here, even if you have to settle for a field goal, I don't think any Big 12 fan in their right minds would turn down being up 24-0 in the conference championship. This is, by the way, to go to the Super Bowl. Shotgun here for Mahomes with Beck on the field. They go pass. He fires it short, and he ends up picking the first down to Tyler Lockett. Actually, they don't get the first down. They get 3rd and inches. So, chance for a big stop here. The offensive line hasn't been able to get much going on the ground. Neither has the Big Ten offensive line, but that's another story. 3rd and inches. I think I would get under center and run this ball, but they decided to go shotgun here with Mahomes. They snap it to him. 4-man rush. He's going to scramble. He's going to pick up the first down. And not much more, but he does end up picking up a big first down. Tackle there by Devin Bush. Devin Bush is the player to watch for this Big Ten. He's a young, up-and-coming player. And the Big Ten is a team I thought this year was like, it's interesting. I mean, the Big Ten is a weird team because right now they look so good. They really do. And I thought they had a chance at a Super Bowl this year. But the more I watch them, the more I think that that's not the case. But they really have a good team, but a lot of these players, especially the quarterback, and the quarterback's position is so important. You might be losing Tom Brady, and that's going to be bad. But shotgun here for Mahomes, and they go run up the middle. Mixon has a huge hole, but the guy makes the tackle, only gets into the 1-yard line. But huge tackle there made by Devin Bush once again. But it brings up a 2nd and goal. But yeah, I mean, you're going to lose Tom Brady in the next couple of years. Drew Brees is gone as your 3rd-string guy. That leaves really only Russ, and then you're going to have, like, Kirk Cousins on your team and Justin Fields. It's not looking great future-wise. They go play action with Mixon. That's going to be picked off. That's going to be picked off by Micah Hyde, and talking about a huge play made by the defense. Huge there. I don't even know where Mahomes is trying to go with that ball, trying to get it to Blake Jarwin. But, like, you need to, I don't know what you're trying to do there. But if you throw it to Andrew Beck, you probably have a touchdown. But instead he tries to fit it into Jarwin, and Jarwin ends up, and Micah Hyde ends up making a big-time play. Despite being picked on early, he ends up making a play that might have kept his team in the ball game. But only at the 1-yard line. If the defense plays well, again, safety is in the cards here for this defense. But they go 3 tight end set with Hawkinson, Gesicki, and Kittle. They go pass, actually, with Brady, and that's going to be picked off. Some great offense here, and Kwiatkowski ends up with first pick of the ball game. I think he had a pick in the SEC game, But yeah, some great offensive skill going on right here. I think the thought was you had Kwiatkowski one-on-one against Stephon Diggs, and you thought you'd try to expose him there. But Kwiatkowski played some very sound defensive coverage. And the Big 12 gets a redo. They made a huge mistake at the 1 yard line, but that ends up only costing them about 4 yards of field position. And so yeah, you get a 1st and goal again. It's like a little redo button. Your defense forces another pick, and Mahomes actually goes empty set here. They bring their safeties in, which could indicate a blitz. They do not blitz. Goes quarterback draw. He's in. 2nd rushing touchdown of the game for Mahomes, and the Big 12 Cardinals go up 28-0, and that pick by Micah Hyde is ultimately meaningless. It just ends up giving this defense some better statistics. Kwiatkowski ends up making a big-time play, but Mahomes is just given all the running room he wants, and he just kind of runs in, kind of walks in there. And, oh, what's going on there, Pup? Pupper seems to notice something. Hi, baby. But, yeah, the Big 12. I don't know who thought they would come in here today and make such an... absolutely, they've dominated the Big 10 so far. Now, again, this game is far from over. The Big 10 definitely has the firepower to get back in this thing rather quickly. But, this could end, if things go the way they're looking now, this could be Tom Brady's first loss in the Conference of Champions, which is going to be weird. But Raheem Mostert's back to... The offense has a chance to make this one a 21-point game again, but the offense for the Big 12 has been practically unstoppable here. Justin Tucker kicked this one off. It's right at the front of the end, so it's going to be turnable by Raheem Mostert. He's going to bring it up. Oh, he gets absolutely clobbered there. I believe Kerry Hyder on that play, and absolutely murdered Mostert on that return. But yeah, I mean, as I was saying before, Brady's getting up there in age. And outside of Russ, you're going to have Russ for a couple more years, trust me. But outside of that, you got to find a provincial replacement. And really, outside of, you have 2 quarterbacks, and that's Justin Fields and Kirk Cousins. And while Fields might turn out to be spectacular, he's no sure thing. So, and Cousins, I think we all know where he sits. Big Ten needs a better quarterback in the future. They go handoff to Barkley, who has a good amount of running room, but he's going to end up being chased down and make the tackle on him. Gives up 4 yards in the play. Nice tackle there made by Deshaun Elliott. And Deshaun Elliott is a player that I really do love. He's played some amazing... I really love the entire secondary for this team. The way they've all played. They use safety depth extremely well. The corners are extremely good. 2 tight end set with Mike Gesicki on the field. It might be a run. They actually do a run with Saquon Barkley, who's going to force it up the middle. Ends up being just short of that first down marker. Approach to the 3rd and 2. And Brandon Sheriff, despite him being able to come back, which that was on a lot of Big Ten's fans' minds, and luckily the die rolled their way and ended up getting one of their better offensive linemen back. But he hasn't been that helpful here in the ground game. Under center here, Tom Brady, they run up the middle with Saquon. He has enough room. He picks up the first. Oh, and a little bit more, ends up picking up 6 yards in that run. And maybe this is what you need to do on offense. I guess when you're passing, your quarterback's making some early mistakes. 2 interceptions so far for Tom Brady. I don't know why Emmanuel Ogbah's not on the field. He's normally the pass rusher for this team. But you run the ball. You get it into the hands of Saquon Barkley and let him run up the middle with it. Now, it hasn't been smooth sailing at all in the ground game, but at least you got something going offensively. And that's really what you need here early on. Maybe open Tom Brady up a little bit more thanks to that. Shotgun here for Tom Brady. He ends up throwing it. Quarterback spy for some reason. Fires it. Gets it to George Kittle. And George Kittle is a player, in my opinion, you cannot involve enough here for this Big Ten offense. George Kittle is easily your most potent offensive threat. And if you don't use him, I think you're pretty stupid. George Kittle's an amazing player. I don't know why Nick Kwiatkowski was playing a spy on Tom Brady. It makes no sense there, but I don't know what's going on. And then another thing about this Big 12 team that I really love is their two rookie linebackers. Talk about them a little bit later on, but shotgun here for Tom Brady. He's going to pass. He's going to have plenty of time. He fires it to Saquon Barkley in the flat. He ends up picking about 5 yards there. Picks up about half what he needs. But what I was saying about these two rookie linebackers is Kenneth Murray Jr. You look at him and you look at, what's his name? Oh, how have I forgotten his name? Jordan Brooks. They're both such good young players, and they're really making a big impact on this team early on. I'd love to see their careers. Under center, here's Tom Brady. They bring, I believe, Michael Thomas in motion at the top of your screen. They go pass. He's going to have plenty of time, although he's eventually pressured. He fires it underneath, and that's going to be tackled for about no gain. Michael Thomas with that reception ends up only getting about a yard on that play, actually. And Kenneth Murray Jr. makes that tackle. Like I was saying, they're both such good young linebackers. If you watch the game, the SEC game, you watch the MAC game, you'll really notice that they make a big-time plays, play after play after play. And I'm really impressed with these young guys. But 3rd and 4, big third down for this Big Ten offense. So they go empty set. 4-man rush. He's going to have plenty of time. Actually, he's eventually pressured. He's get hit. And that's going to be caught by Saquon Barkley, but he's going to be tackled at the 40-yard line because he had to come back to that ball. And huge pressure there by that Big 12 defensive line. Nick Kwiatkowski ends up making the tackle. And they bring him just short of that first down. And big pressure from the inside, the interior of that line. And Nick Kwiatkowski makes a huge tackle to force most likely a punt. And your team could go up possibly 35-0 before halftime. Insanity. I thought the Big 12 was going to come in here, give the Big 10 a game for sure, and Cox's going to punt this one away. I think he's going to try and pin him. He does end up pinning him at the 16-yard line. That's for sure. But it's not a great pin, and this offense has been so spectacular for the Big 12. Now, they have made some mistakes. Mahomes obviously made the mistake at the end of the drive where he threw the pick to Micah Hyde at the 1-yard line. It ended up costing them that much, but it definitely is something that the Big Ten defense did right there. And they've also forced a punt in this game. But outside of those two possessions, they've been rather fantastic. Andrew Buck's in the field, so likely indicates a run here, though we have seen him used in the passing game. Man, you're able to stop him sometimes, but Joey Bosa gets off that line, and he makes a huge time tackle for loss. And again, I've always thought, right before the SEC game, I thought, okay, if the only way I think they can win this game is if Mahomes and Mixon both have great games, right? That hasn't been entirely the case. Now, Mahomes has had phenomenal games, but Mixon has not. And I said it before this game, I believe, too, is I think if Big 12's going to win this game, Mixon's got to be a huge part of it. He has not been that huge of a part of it tonight. I'm sorry, I had to stop that for a second, but we're getting back into it. But Mahomes shotgun here. He's going to have plenty of time. He fires it underneath the Mark Andrews, who steps out of bounds, only picking up about 3 yards on the play. And they're faced with a 3rd and 9, but they could end up not picking up this first down. Big time play for this Big Ten defense if you can force a punt. The goal is to be only down 28-7 at halftime. You need to force this punt here for the defense. Shotgun from Mahomes with Mixon beside him. Looks like it might be a blitz by the Big Ten. They're showing it. They do bring the blitz. He fires it underneath to Andrews, but he's tackled short of that first down. They're going to have to punt this ball away. Huge tackle there by Adrian Amos. And Amos is a name I haven't said a lot. But he was one of their starting safeties. He was a great player at Penn State. He's been a great player in the NFL in general. And, yeah, I mean, great defense there. They bring the blitz. They play great one-on-one coverage. You can let them catch it underneath. You just got to make sure you tackle them short of that first down marker. And they're going to have to put this ball away, and Brady's going to get a chance to work his 2-minute magic before halftime. Trust Way to punt this one away. It is off. There's going to be no blockers for Stephon Diggs, and he's going to get tackled immediately at the 32-yard line. Still good field position for this Big Ten offense, but, I mean, you've got to do something offensively. I mean, you look at that offensive line, you look at that defensive line, you should be killing it in the ground game. You really should. There is no reason why you're not dominating in the ground game, especially at defensive tackle, which is one of the weakest areas for this Big 12 defense. You should be able to run it up the middle with ease. But really, it hasn't been the case so far today. I don't know if they're just leaning on the pass too much or what, but they could really use a great Tom Brady 2-minute drive here. They bring a blitz. He fires it underneath to no other than Michael Thomas on the slant. The slant man himself catches another pass, third catch for 30 yards, but still not a huge impact here early on. And Jason Verrett has had a huge impact. 6th tackle of the ball game for Jason Verrett. And Verrett's another player I love, but I've already talked about him under center, and that's going to be the 2-minute warning for this offense. But again, you're sitting at midfield. You have 2 minutes. You have plenty of time to go down and get this touchdown, in my opinion. Yeah, I see no reason why this Big Ten offense can't just get it accomplished. They should be able to. Shotgun here with, I believe, Saquon on the field. Looks like a 4-man rush for the Big 12. They do bring a 4-man rush. He fires it underneath to George Kittle, who gets out of bounds for about a 6-yard gain. It brings up a 2nd and 4. And I mean, that's not a bad way to drive down the field, but it's not a quick way by any means. But you're already at midfield. You have 1:56 remaining. You can do that a lot, and it would work out pretty well. So shotgun here for Tom Brady. They bring a blitz. He fires it underneath George Kittle. He's eventually tackled, but not after he made a guy miss to the 34-yard line. And another big-time play by George Kittle. I think he's finally figuring out who he should be throwing it to, and it really should be George Kittle. And I understand you want to... I mean, Stephon Diggs and Michael Thomas were both extraordinary targets, but George Kittle's obviously the man. Earl Thomas misses on the tackle, unfortunately for him. But 1st and 10, 34-yard line. You're finally getting something going if you're the Big Ten. Under center here is Tom Brady. I bet this is a pass. This is not going to be a run. It is, in fact, a pass. 4-man rush. He fires it to the outside. Oof, almost intercepted, but is it going to be caught? And 96, Alex Okafor. And that's a guy to watch out for later on in this game is Alex Okafor and whether he's able to return. Because if he's not able to return and the Big 12 do end up moving on from this game, I'm going to have to roll a die. Not roll a die, flip a coin as to whether or not he will be able to play in the Super Bowl. So, interesting development here for the Big 12 Cardinals losing Alex Okafor to injury. At least for this quarter. But here we go. 1:26, 1st and 10. At the opponent's 23-yard line. You can get a touchdown here for Tom Brady. Fires it, and he gets it to Michael Thomas, I believe. Michael Thomas is having a bit of an impact here later on in this quarter, but still, you're down 28-0. You got to get a touchdown on this drive. It's a good thing you're chewing clock because you don't want to give the other team any amount of time, that's for sure. Michael Thomas is lit up, so is Tom Brady, so that's good if you're the Big Ten. Big 12 brings a blitz. He fires it inaccurately to Allen Robinson. Allen Robinson was an early favorite target of a Tom Brady in the Mountain West game. He got a lot of passes to him. 58 seconds left, 3rd and 3. 58 seconds is plenty of time, but 3rd and 3 is a thing that you need to convert now. So they bring a blitz. He's going to get pressured, and that's going to be an incomplete pass for Tom Brady. He had basically no time to get it off, and Emmanuel Ogbah makes a big-time play off the edge. He was somehow both on the sideline and on the field, which is interesting. He's basically magic, but great play by... Is that Emmanuel Ogbah? No, I don't think so. No, I think it is Emmanuel Ogbah. 96 is Alex Okafor. I was looking for him, but Robbie Gould's on to kick this ball, make it a 25-point game. But now if you're the Big 12, you have time to drive. You have about 50 seconds. That's pretty solid. That's not an insanely low amount of time. And you have 2 timeouts, and you have Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. I'd try it. I understand you're up 28-3. I mean, this is a lead that has been blown. 28-3 is it's a great score because it's going to keep a lot of people interested in watching this game because everyone knows Tom Brady was down by 28-3 before in a huge important game. And he was able to come back, and the lead was kind of blown. So let's see if you might want to change that score before halftime. If you go up 35-3, you don't want Tom Brady to have a chance to come back. That's going to be returnable by Tyler Lockett. He's going to bring it up the middle. He's going to get tackled for just short of the 25-yard line. Actually, they call it the 25-yard line. I'd try and get points before halftime. I know a lot of people would try to run this clock out, but personally, not me. I would not run the clock out. But that's just me. I don't know. Maybe other people feel differently. I'd try something with Mahomes. I don't see why not. You have a great offensive line that hasn't been allowing any defensive pressure all night. As long as you don't make a huge mistake, you should be fine heading into halftime. Looks like a 3-man rush with Mixon lined up directly behind. Back at it again with 41 seconds left. Again, he just completed a pass to, I believe, Tyler Lockett, although it could have been Sterling Shepard. But this is you can drive down the field, and you have a great kicker. You have a really good kicker in Justin Tucker. So I think the Big 12 has probably the best special teams left of all the teams. But I mean, has been an amazing first half of play by the Big 12. I mean, they have coming into the Big 10 Titan Stadium, and they kind of shocked them a little bit. Shotgun here from Mahomes. They bring a blitz. There's plenty of time. He fires it all over the head of Sterling Shepard. It could have been a huge play, but brings up a 2nd and 10. The pressure didn't end up getting there, which was interesting because they brought like 6 guys. And Mixon wasn't even blocking anyone. They were all stacking up on one guy, and then they couldn't get past him. Pretty impressive blocking job. Shotgun here from Mahomes. They stick with the 4-man rush they have normally. He fires it underneath to Danny Amendola, who gets quickly tackled at the 39-yard line. I think they're probably just going to run this clock out and end the half. They're just going to chew this clock. And I mean, being up 28-3 halftime is a good score, but I don't know. Against Tom Brady, it's going to be scary in the second half. So they do end up calling the timeout with 21 seconds left. It's just going to be interesting because now you wasted a little bit of time. I guess it made sense if you don't end up getting this. But now if you do end up getting this, you have to get out of bounds. If you don't get out of bounds, this game's basically over. You have time for basically one spike, but that's it. Shotgun here from Mahomes. Looks like a blitz by the Big Ten. They do bring the blitz. He fires it underneath to Mike Andrews. He picks up the first down, but again, you got to hurry up and spike this ball. I don't think they're going to. I mean, I think this is going to be the end of the half. But I'd like to tell everyone that I've enjoyed being with you today. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this with me. But hey, everybody, this is going to be, in a few minutes. I'll do it in a couple seconds after this half ends. But since they're moving up, yeah, this is going to be the end of it. Hey, everybody, this is GGB, co-host Pepper saying, adios, amigos.